Welcome to the Books Applied podcast, presented by WSL Leadership. In this podcast, we talk about an awesome book and how to apply it to your work, sport, or life. I'm your host, Iggy Perillo. Thanks for joining me. On today's episode, I'm talking about the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I already know what you're thinking, which is, didn't that book come out a long time ago? And the answer is yes. The English version was released in 2014. So over a decade ago, this book hit the scene in English, at least. It had come out a few years earlier in Japanese. And it was very popular at the time. It really changed a lot of, there's a lot of hype and energy around it. I think Marie Kondo got a show. I don't know if that show is still on. But I found this book interesting. And I read it a while back, but I think the pieces of it are still very useful and applied to our world right now. So this is why I'm bringing it back to the conversation for us today. The short story, which you may have heard of or not, perhaps, who knows? Let's assume you haven't heard of this book. The short story is, it is all about how to declutter your life and how to create a world around you that is more optimized in terms of what is in that physical space. I think there's a sort of interesting misconception about the book, or interesting characterization of the book. One is that it's about getting rid of stuff, which instantly, in many of us, triggers this loss aversion. Like, oh, I wouldn't want to get rid of something. It has value, it has meaning, it has blah, blah, blah. But loss aversion is its own issue to deal with. And really, the book is about what to keep in your life and what to invite in and what to hold on to because it has meaning and value for you. So the premise of the book is we need to tidy up our lives so that frees our energy to flow more easily and to do the things we want to do, to leave us more energized because our physical stuff is weighing and bogging us down. I found the book super fascinating when I read it many years ago, and little pieces of it come back to my mind from time to time. So I thought I would dive into really what the book had to say and how it is useful and meaningful for us now. Basically, Marie Kondo goes through a really systematic way to declutter our homes. And that's really what her focus is, our living spaces, and how to declutter them. And her take on it is to go by category of thing, not by physical space in our home. So we have to declutter, then we have to organize. These are sort of two different things, but we need to declutter first because you can't organize your way into more clutter. You can't build better storage and to have less clutter because you still have just a lot of stuff in storage. So the decluttering phase in her mindset, or her framework, takes 6 months, and that's you're going to get after it in 6 months. You want to do it fast, you want to do it rapidly so that you can really see and feel the effect of what is happening. And her take is that you go by category of thing. And she says there's a right order of the categories, which, great, sounds good. I mean, she was very popular for a reason. But to go through categories of things in this order, so you have clothes, books, papers, miscellaneous stuff, and then mementos after that. And so for the clothes category, you get all your clothes from all the places they're hiding. They're in the spare closet. Oh, they're under my bed in that box for later. Oh, they're in that other closet over there. They're on the top shelf. Pull everything out of all the spaces. And then you decide what of this is going to be something I want to keep in my life. And everything else you thank for its service and let it go. Move on to a new space. Move it on to a new place where it can bring energy or be useful to someone else. And this is where that sorting moment, you hold the item in your hand, and this is the what I think Marie Kondo is most known for is, does it spark joy, is the question. I hold on to a pair of socks they may have had for who knows how long. Do they spark joy? Sort of a yes or no. And the idea is that this is not a deep rational thought process around it may have sparked joy then or now. You hold the item. Does it spark joy for you right now? Does it bring joy to you? Sort of a yes or no, pretty quick assessment. And that yes or no is keep or let go of. And we want things in our lives, this is, I think, the underlying premise. We want things in our lives that bring joy to us. And we don't need things in our lives, physical items, physical objects that don't bring us joy. So we were going through all of our things in one category at a time. And it is great. She gets to books. Clearly I'm a fan of books. I'm a fan of the library. So it keeps me having maybe fewer books in my home. But hold everyone in your hand. Does it spark joy? Does it make you feel joyful just to hold it in your hand? Yes or no? It stays or it goes. She has some very fun lines in this book. So you're going through this process. The value could be functional. It could be informational. There's also emotional attachment. Like she acknowledges, like we are emotionally attached to things. Those all are values we may have for things. And she says one of her fun quotes is, "The urge to point out someone else's failure to tidy is usually a sign that you are neglecting to take care of your own space." Like, yeah, thanks, Marie. Got it. Like we are very quick to point out that other people are a mess when we have that same amount of mess, if not more, in other aspects of our own life, which is a good time. And she says, like, her tips are so hyper practical and specific at times. She's like, start in the morning. Like, okay, get after it. That's a great idea. And even within the category, she gets really granular as to like the order of things. So it's not just clothing first. You have out of season stuff, then you have in season stuff. You have tops and you have bottoms. Like she really just lays it out, thing after thing after thing, like category of clothing. Like, do I need all these pieces? Do I want all these in my world, in my life? And then she talks about sort of the second part. Once you've gone through, well, cool, I have the stuff that brings me joy, that I want, that I'm keeping. She tells this little side story about how she has this T-shirt from, I think, was it a concert she went to? Oh, I think it was a cartoon character T-shirt where she's like, I wear it around the house sometimes. It makes me smile. Yeah, that brings me joy. I'm keeping this cartoon character T-shirt that no one will probably ever see, is ratty and old, and it's not for public consumption or by any stretch, but it brings her joy. So you can keep the things that bring you joy if they do bring you joy. And the really going through this process, you realize how many things you have that just aren't useful, aren't functional, don't bring you joy, that we make excuses to keep in our lives. We have a lot of stories around why we need to keep those things. So after she talks about clothing, she's like, here's how to sort, how to organize, how to fold your clothes. Like there's a whole like folding, organizing clothes that I think has stuck with me over time, by the way. My T-shirts are folded in the sort of Marie Kondo style way so that I'm like, oh, yeah, I can look at all of them. Great. So clothing, great. Books, you've touched them all. Then she says papers. She's like, throw them all away. I'm like, blanket statement. You don't need them. Whatever pieces of paper you have in your world, most likely you don't need. Shred most of them. There are very few that need to be kept. There are things that you need to deal with. So deal with them now. And there are things that need attention. Those are the things you need to deal with, need attention, but also things you need, like legal documents, for example, or other pages that you're like, well, I need to save this thing. It might not spark joy, but having a driver's license, that's kind of a piece of paper. I need that to drive around and, do the things I need in my life, a passport or whatever. We have some documents out there that we keep, whether or not they spark joy, because their utility outweighs the joylessness we bring to them. Although so many people get so many very entertaining sparks of joy from their driver's license photo or their passport photo or whatever. It's a very fun time. So embrace the joy of these things. But basically, throw away all your papers, which is great. We really don't need them. Then she goes into sort of this miscellaneous category, which is all these other pieces and parts of things all over your house. You're like, great. Yeah. Why do we have this old stuff in the back of the cabinet? It is not serving us. Can it serve someone else? Great. Move it on. Let it serve its purpose and be useful to someone who can find use in that thing, which is being of service to other folks and being of service to yourself at the same time by letting it go and letting that thing, whatever it is, that stack of, I don't know, CDs you never listened to, let them bring joy to someone else out there. She talks about some tricky categories, though, like gifts. And gifts are given to us to convey someone else's feelings. And so she has this very interesting take on receiving gifts. Like the point of someone giving you a gift is for them to show care for you. And so when being given a gift, our role is to accept it and honor that thing but we don't necessarily have to keep that gift around. Oh, but my auntie will be mad if they don't see that blah, blah, sweater they sent me 40 years ago. I'm like, your auntie is probably over it by now and forgot that sweater. Or maybe it does spark joy to you. But also, most likely your auntie wasn't giving you something to make you feel burdened by it. Like, you can let go of things that have attachment to other people and not have them in your life. It's okay. They're sort of... she talks about sentimental items. Like, we have these things in our world. Like, oh, there's that sentimental. She talks about the shirt that she has. She talks about just other things we have around. They might be not necessarily functional items, or they maybe were functional once or not, or maybe they're still functional, but you're like, well, I could do better than this type of thing. But the question is, have they served their purpose for you? The sentimental things. Have they brought the memories? Have they been have they served their purpose? Have they been something that was valuable and useful to us? And are they still serving that value and use? And are they still bringing joy to us? Or are they attachments to a nostalgia that we don't necessarily need? So we're sorting, we're organizing, does this thing inspire joy? Quickly going through, touching everything, and we're trying to simplify the stuff we have, but also simplify what we store and what we keep in our life. And really, ideally, wouldn't it be great to be surrounded by things that just bring us joy all the time? We can do that by letting go of the things that don't bring us joy. She then goes on sort of this more in-depth on organizing and how to then have an organized space around us. And she does something that I am very much a fan of, maybe before or after I read her book, which is having a place for things. Things have a place or a location where they live, where they go. Oh, the mail comes in. Cool. Where does it go? Oh, it goes always to the same place. She's like, read your mail over the garbage can, because it immediately can go into the trash, or it can go into the, I'm going to deal with it sort of zone, which is like, oh, I need to pay my bill or do this thing or deal with these other things. And she talks about how clutter in our spaces has two main causes. We have, there's too much effort to put something away, or it's unclear where that thing belongs. So we find a place for a thing, like, oh, it's clear where this goes. This has a space in my home. I know where it goes. It's not going to just be cluttered, laying around, sort of in a non-useful space for it. So I know where to find it, and it's not hard to get it into that space. She kind of moves into this other angle of treating objects and treating your space with a little more anthropomorphism than we typically do in the American world, I would say, broadly speaking. And she says to greet your home and thank it every day. Thanking the space around you helps you attach to your space as something else that can bring you joy. That the actual physical space around you can be, another avenue for clearing things out, so you have a more positive relationship, more direct relationship with joy in your life. And so I don't know if you've been to someone else's house where you're like, whoa, there's just a lot going on here. It may be messy or not messy, or cluttered or not cluttered, but I feel like I've been in people's spaces where I'm like, ugh, the space just feels a little bit oppressive. The space feels a little bit not cared for, perhaps. And that doesn't necessarily have to do with what's in the space or the volume of it, but maybe how things are situated or located, or how much just volume of stuff is in that space. So basically, she says to put your house in order from the perspective of making your house happy itself. How do we make our home feel happy? Which, again, we're like, my house is a bunch of material. It doesn't have emotions. But would your home be happy in the state it's in? Which is I think a fun and interesting question. And in the process, you are letting go of things that you can say, she's like, here are some ways to send items on to the next journey. You can say, thank you for finding me, or have a good journey, and I'll see you again soon. We can let things go and thank them for their presence, what they've contributed, without holding the thing physically itself. And so, you're launching your things on a new journey is really where this is at. That things that you don't need, things that don't bring joy, actively bring joy into your life right now? Like, well, I might need it later. Well, yeah, you might have some tools. I definitely have some tools in my house where I'm like, I will need that thing. I don't need it right now. Do I need 4 pairs of wire cutters? Probably not. I could probably get rid of 3 of those at least. But someday, there's utility in that for me. There's like important connection necessarily, not necessarily to that, set of wire cutters, but yeah, I want those around. I can definitely cut back some, but it doesn't necessarily mean that thing sparks joy in itself. I think for me also, there's this land of gear that I have used that I'm sentimental attachment, yes, but also functional attachment. But really, when am I going to need 2 winter coats? I don't know. Like, I'm not in a space that has really heavy winter right now, but maybe this upcoming winter I'll go up on the mountains or I'll head to someplace colder and want a winter coat. Maybe 1 is probably enough, right? And my other coat that I wore so much and had put so much use into can serve someone else. It can really help bring joy to someone else and be useful in utility. Like, things were designed to be used a little bit. And that concept means that we are holding ourselves back from letting the things be their most useful. We are holding those things back from their utility. And in the meantime, they're weighing us down. They're physically filling our space with things that are not useful. And that vibe is sort of the underlying aspect of how this book works. Like, we don't need vibes of things being unuseful around us. We can send them on a better journey. In the meantime, keeping and holding it within our space, the things that are joyful, fun, and like useful, like really functionally useful in a way that is going to serve us and serve us well. One aspect of this book that I really liked upon revisiting it later is how well it sort of meshes with Quit by Annie Duke, which is another episode of the Book to podcast. You can find it out there. And Annie Duke in Quit says basically that we put so much effort into wondering if we need things or not, wondering if we should do something or not, wondering if we should quit something or not, wondering if this is the right thing to do, that effort spent wondering if we should do that thing is a sign that we should have quit doing that thing already, right? So our effort spent hiding, storing, investing in storage, building better storage compartments is sort of another way of saying, like, if I need to store more stuff, what is the underlying piece of why I'm even storing this stuff? Like, does it bring me joy to have this stuff in storage? Or is my desire to store things a sign that I should let go of them already? I should quit keeping them in my life. So I think these sort of 2 pieces together form this really interesting, unique sort of dichotomy around the physical aspects of our life, but also the relational aspects. So Marie Kondo talks about the physical, very specific. Hold that thing in your hand. Does it bring you joy? If not, send it on its way. Wish it well. So the physical aspects, quitting having them in our world, but also choosing actively what we want in our world. And then Annie Duke's side of quitting things we are doing. So the same kind of vibe, but applied to the world of choices we are making. Should I keep making that same choice? Should I keep doing that same thing? Should I keep pursuing that same path with my energy and my activities, or not? And we are often can let go of so many tangible, but also intangible energy sucks on ourselves by holding on to what brings us joy, but also letting go of relationships, activities, choices that don't bring us joy, don't energize us, are those slow energy drains in our world. So although it's an older book, it is a classic, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Fantastic read. It's short. It's pretty fast. He wrote sequels. There's a show. There's a million things about it on the internet. You can probably find a summary in 10 seconds. But I liked reading the whole book, even though it's a short, fast, small, very light, very gentle book, very encouraging. It's very supportive. It's written in just like a really engaging, light way, as opposed to, hey, deal with this. You're terrible. It is not a shaming book. It's really an invitation to a better way of living with less clutter and a more tidy space, which frees your mental space, which frees your energy to do more amazing, wonderful things that you want to do out there. So that is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Books Applied podcast. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a new book and learning how to apply its ideas to make your work, sport, or life a little bit more awesome. For more leadership education-related content, including conflict management checklists, invitations to a fun free lunch that happens monthly, upcoming classes, webinars, and mastermind groups, please head over to wslleadership.com. Thanks, and have a great day.